Welcome to FSP Live with Reggie and Tony, where we spend time with the GOATs of the insurance industry, true legends, Hall of Famers, who together protected over 100,000 New Yorkers and their families. They did it with the Family Security Plan. Let me touch the water. It is definitely the deep end, guys, because we're about to dive in head first. Hello, Reggie. Hello, Tony.
Morning. Morning, guys.
Welcome to FSP Live.
My pleasure.
This podcast is going to be the tough one, in my opinion, because we're going to talk about a really challenging time. It's that day when the unexpected happens and all of us at the same time are thrust into a place that we never thought we'd be. It was the global pandemic. When it hit, I remember it was rough on everyone, but for you, it must have been extremely challenging. Tell me about that day or that time when the world shut down and how you felt.
Well, actually, for me, March 17, actually, I remember the day when they called. I was on the floor with Che, and they said, "You guys have to go home. The bank, MCU is going to shut down."
Yeah.
I mean,
That was rough.
It was shut down because we've been hearing the hints about what's going on.
Right.
It's global pandemic and everything. Nobody really know what it is. Yeah, it was then, But the company came up with some ideas what need to be done in order to move along with that trade.
Yep.
In order to help the members to cope with the whole situation. I mean, it wasn't easy. I mean, we had to go get on the phone with someone like me who has never really been doing this for 30, almost going to close to 40 years. Also, trust on the phone.
Yeah,
what was that like?
It wasn't fun.
You
It wasn't
remember,
fun at all.
Tony? Yeah,
No,
You had to be trained to get onto the phone.
Yeah, that was something,
I mean,
What was it like to learn a new skill at that point?
It was challenging, but with the help of people in the back office, the IT guys who know what they're doing. Tony could attest to that.
Oh yeah,
Tony, what was that like?
Oh yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Like Reggie said, we've been doing this the branch for a long time, over 36 years, and all of a sudden we have to change the way we talk to people and help people.
Sure.
Before we were doing it face to face. You get used to seeing people's faces and their emotions, but now you have to go on the phone and speak to them. It was hard, and with the situation going on, nobody knew what this virus was, and the impact it was going to be. But we did a little training, before we actually get on the phone. Then, once we started, it was kind of a little different at first, because we were calling the same people that we've known for years.
Right.
They were telling me, actually, Reggie even told me the same thing. So. That's not Mr. Williams. It doesn't sound like Mr. Williams on the phone. I said, "This is me." It was kind of funny, I said, But the main thing about it is that when during the pandemic, I think Reggie said around March or something like that.
Yeah, we left the bank actually March 17. I
right.
remember the exact date, and we got a week training. And
right.
We started talking to members on the phone. And we'll start hearing all kind of horrific stories about what's going on with the members.
That's what I wanted to touch on.
Yes.
Obviously this was terrible. It was devastating. There was death. There was sickness. There were hospitalizations. People were afraid. What were they saying to you, and what did you say to them?
Well, the irony of the whole situation, prior to that time, before we were sent home, there was this correction officer who came to the branch with our father and our mom. Because we just started selling parents. And she wanted to get a policy for her dad, $10,000. I said, well, the father has to be there to sign the, in order for the father to be qualified to get a policy. And she brought the father in. We did the policy for $10,000. The man was like about maybe close to 70-some years old. And she was actually one of the first people that died through that.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, she was one of the afflicted through the whole thing. and the policy was still being going through normal procedure of being written.
Right.
That happened, and she called me.
Remember
I called you.
Did you find that you were either talking to people who someone in their family passed away, or you were hearing about people who had passed away? Was that happening to you on the phone?
Yes, actually, they were calling to find out the Security Mutual covered COVID. I said, of course they covered COVID. It doesn't matter the way the person passed away, especially in this situation here.
Right.
Once your policy is active, because people are very apprehensive. They wasn't sure.
They were nervous.
Exactly. They weren't sure if the policy was, be paid out or not. We give them the assurance that, the company that we represent, Security Mutual, then once you have the policy, you will be paid. And we are getting a couple of those. People are calling in, say, Anthony, how's my policy? Is it good? I said, rest assured, if anything happens, the policy will be paid.
So when you were talking to people, did you find that more people were wanting to confirm that their policies were okay, as opposed to the past where there was assumptions?
Yes, they're calling to see if it, if the, like Tony was just saying now, if the COVID is a part of the whole thing. It was SML covering it. It was, because something new.
Right.
I don't really know what, if the insurance company going to change the way the whole thing, So we had to give them assurance about the fact that you're still going to be covered regardless of what.
Now, there were companies out there that left the industry, and SML, Security Mutual, did not. How did that make you feel about your partnership?
Feel very good. It makes us even give to the members the assurance that they're in good hands, that, the company that they have the insurance with, no matter what, they'll be paid. And exactly what happened, and I know a couple of people that did call me and say, Anthony, how do I go about this? My wife died. My husband, actually, I know a couple of people that I know very well.
Right.
That, when I heard, there was a lady that called me that said, I think last name is Mr. Samuels or something like that, called me. And I know these people very well. This guy, I think I know over 20 years. And the wife called me and said, Anthony, so-and-so died. I said, whoa, I'm sorry to hear that. This is somebody like a family to me, because
Sure.
I've known them for years. And, and I always tell them that, God forbid something happens, I'm here to take care of you. Just give me a call. And that's exactly what she did.
And that's what you've said to people for years. You've both said that to people for years.
Yes.
And you were calling people, they were calling your home, they were calling your phone, they were calling your extension.
Yes.
You were connecting with people throughout.
Yes, through the whole time that we were on the phone.
When you spoke to people on the phone, were you finding that during the pandemic, when you were talking to them about additional coverage for themselves, that they were open to it because of fear, or were they open to it because of need? What changed there?
Well, both actually, the needs there.
I was going to say that.
There. At the same time, the fear also drove some people to do what, people, like I said, insurance is not an easy thing to sell people. It's a piece of paper you're selling them.
Right.
So, sometimes you need to, need to be job at something,
Yeah.
So that fear, a lot of people you seen before, you talk to, who were not receptive to you, they won't call and say, wait a minute, Reg.
Yeah.
You remember the insurance you told me, can I get a policy now? Those people call on their own, even when you've been talking for them for years, because of the situation that happened. That drove them, their wife, and probably saying, listen, time for you to go get something.
Yeah.
So over time, obviously, we survived, and many people did not, and we were able to return and face the members again in the lobbies of the credit union, where you've always been. What was it like when you went back in for the first time and started to see people?
It was kind of a rush, actually, to be honest with you. People, they saw the actual effect of how the insurance company help, and people are coming in. People that, like Reggie said, being on the sideline, I want to do it. I'm not sure if I want to do it. Now people are coming in. They're even telling their coworkers and say, you know what? My husband passed away. Thank God for Security Mutual. They took care of it. Everything was good. I even want to increase my insurance.
Right.
So we got a little rush, when we went back to work,
Sure.
So
Reggie, did you find the same?
Well, almost identical, and also, people haven't seen you for a long time. You haven't seen people for a while.
Like family.
Exact family. That's the key word there. So people are, embracing, and even though you have to be very careful
You have to
about
give
it.
them a fist bump.
Yeah, exactly. We had to get a fist bump. You don't know, so.
Oh, yeah.
But
No one's hugging.
Yeah. Well,
Just
how
give
it
them,
is. It was still a little rough, but at that time, we already got the vaccination coming out, and people already, but still, well, it was a phase of life that you go through, and thank God, the whole nation, whole world went through it, and
We sure did.
thank God we all survived. At least a whole lot of people do survive, and people who passed away, may their soul rest in peace. So.
yes.
But
How did it make you feel about being in this industry that was there, actually helped to lift families up even in their worst times, during the worst time in history?
It just proved that what we're doing actually affect people's lives. Because like Reggie said, even though you're walking away with a promise, and when you get home, you get a package in the mail, to actually see the effect of what we're doing makes you feel good.
Sure.
Like you actually impact people, and you can see in their faces when they see you, and they say thank you. I mean, it makes you feel that you're doing something very, very important in people's lives.
So the Family Security Plan is a community.
Yes.
And the community was struck by this virus, by the pandemic. How do you feel the message, what message would you give to the community now that we've gone beyond it and we're able to look back? What message would you say to the community?
That we'll always be there for them, that we'll never forget them. In times of need, we're there, we'll continue to be there. And, they could always count on Security Mutual Life. They could always count on their family security plan. And we always want to, impact their life and continue to impact their life. Not only that, we want them to bring, see, my thing is this. The community have to expand.
Agreed.
It has to expand.
They have to spread it to their spread it to your loved ones, your families, their neighbors,
Thank you.
Anybody. Just feel them that this is part of your family. I mean, you've seen the effect of, probably not personally, but somebody, or you heard of somebody being helped. So why don't they extend that to people that doesn't have it?
Courtesy of the same.
Just bring people in and let's spread the love.
I completely agree. I think that's well said. And this particular podcast, it's a deep one. It's one where we reflect on the millions of people who are affected, whether they themselves passed away or someone in their family passed away. It's a time to take it very seriously and realize the industry that we're in, and to be grateful to be able to help like we do.
That's right.
So in today's podcast, we touched on the worst days, on the pandemic. We got to hear stories about how you both handled the adversity of going home, about connecting to the community that you took decades to build, and how as a community ourselves and as a plan and with Security Mutual, we were there during the worst times, and we fulfilled the promises that we made. Now you have a chance to join us and meet Reggie and Tony again and see them again at our FSP Live event, our first ever FSP Live in Brooklyn on October 26th. Make sure you mark that date down at the Tillery Hotel. Put it in your calendar, October 26th. Thank you, Reggie. Thank you, Tony. And thank you all for listening.
See you there. Hi, everybody. This is Anthony Williams.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Reggie Lewis.
After 36 years of being part of your family, I know you guys miss me, and of course I miss you.
The whole idea is to grow this entire family, the same product you enjoy all these years. I want to extend the same courtesy to your friends and neighbors.
And you don't have to wait too long before we get back together. I'll be coming to Brooklyn with my buddy Reggie on the 26th of October.
Tillery Hotel, downtown Brooklyn.
And of course, I want you to bring your whole community. And the most important thing, I want you to be there, because I will be there.
And I will be there.
See you soon.